invite our first speaker, Mr. Vijay Gupta.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
When I was asked by Sureshi to speak at Tajurba, my question to him was, what do you do there? What do you speak about? And he said, you should tell your story. I said, I don't have a story. He said, everybody has a story. Okay? I agreed to do that. And then I thought through what should be the format of this presentation. And someone told me, do it like a movie. Okay? So here I am to tell my story of how a stammering boy of slight build, standing now in front of you all fine people, speaking about learning. This is my story, my learning. So my earliest recollection of life started with a shock. I was 3.5 years old and I was trying to probably, out of curiosity, find out what goes into that electrical socket that makes the fan run. To my amazement, I was shocked, literally speaking. That was my first lesson. So my second learning, in those formative years, I don't know if you guys, most of you guys wouldn't even know what this is. This is a kerosene stove. So, like all kids of my age, I was 4.5 years old, you want to impress your parents, your siblings. So one fine day, a guest had come to visit my mother, and I went to the kitchen and found the kerosene stove, put a cup of utensils for the tea, made 2 cups of tea. I didn't know that this stove needs to be heated up before it can, really function well. So I made the tea, but because of the flames around it, it smelled of kerosene. That's my lesson number 2. And I would like to point out lesson number 3 on stealing. So, like all kids, you like candies. So, I think my father put money on, shelf. There's a paper and we used to put money underneath the shelf. So one fine day I just took 10 rupees notes, went to the shop and says, give me 10 candies. In those days, one candy used to be 1 paisa. So 10 candies, 10 rupees. Okay. So I didn't know a distinction between what is the difference between paisa and a rupee. 10 rupees those days would be like 1,000 rupees now. So to cut the story short, obviously my parents came to know about it and I had a hard time, but I learned what stealing is all about. So I was the youngest sibling of 3 brothers, and I don't know how many of you are the youngest, but the youngest have a very tough time in family. So they are the ones who get the used clothes, oldest coming. So the eldest wears it, and then you get the old used clothes. You get the used books. So the books you got were all underlined and torn and all that. And you got ordered around. You tell your bhaiya, I got kitne marks aaye, acha theek hai, pani leke aa. So you were always ordered around. But the good thing was, my parents had huge expectations from the earlier 2 siblings, earlier 2 brothers, with 0 delivery. So by the time I came along, they had 0 expectations. So that was a good thing, because then I was left to my mechanisms. Whatever I do, they were happy. So my father had he was in Air Force. He had a transferable job. So every 2 years we had to pack our bags, move to a new city, which meant that leave my old friends, go to a new place, make new friends. So kind of traumatic, because always you're on the move, right? Always trying to re-establish yourself in a new school. Along the way, I developed interest for comic books, reading. The good thing about moving around is you got to interact with people, with students from different cultures, different languages, and different backgrounds. So diversity. So that was something that allowed me to interact with a lot of people and kind of make friends very easily. So that was a silver lining. So along the way, I went and joined different schools. Every 2 years, kept on shifting. But I will fast forward and bring to Standard 7, which was Green Herald International School in Dhaka. There we had students from different countries, from Indonesia, from Hungary, Poland, Thailand, lots of them, and also from India, from different states. So again, it was a very diverse set of students. It was a missionary school. So missionary schools have a nice way of imbibing values in you. And some of the things I still recollect, and I'll put across two of them. I had a principal called Sister Imelda, and she used to say, compete against yourself. Now I never really understood it at that point of time, until much later on, that competing against oneself is the only way to derive fulfillment of what you do, to really excel in things that you want to do or that you are doing. And that's true not only for individuals but also for companies. Companies that compete against themselves and come up with better products are the ones that are supremely successful. Example would be Apple computers. The second thing she used to say, she used to tell us the difference between pleasure and enjoyment. She says, pleasure is short term, enjoyment is much longer. The thing of beauty is joy forever. So she used to ask us to focus on enjoyment while sacrificing pleasure. Example would be, if you take care of your health by waking up early, doing yoga, doing exercises, it's kind of, every day is painful. You have to wake up early and do those. But in the long term, you have good health, so it's very enjoyable. So those are once through that school, and I went on to do 9, 10, 11, and then in 11 in Kanpur, I got this bug of IIT, and we started preparing for IIT, and made it there, and so a lot of people think when you enter IIT, life is made. But that's where the struggle starts. You reach a place where you have these multiple people, extremely talented, very hardworking, and day in, day out, you have to compete against themselves because it's a relative grading. And which means only those many percent of your top percent in this class will get A grade, and these many will get B grade. So it's a highly competitive environment. And people who are used to kind of doing very well and topping in their schools, when they reach there, it's sometimes very traumatic for them to be able to adjust to the fact that they're no longer at the top, but they are probably in the middle or the end. But overall, it was a great experience here. I had wonderful profs, and some of the profs were obviously up there. Some of the others combined jokes with study. So I had one prof, Dr. Ranganathan, and I still remember him very much because he used to make teaching very interesting. So he used to teach us Chemistry 101. So he used to start the day with a joke. And I still remember that joke which I'm going to come up now. So he recited, he says these are days when Englishmen were in Africa colonizing different countries. So one of the natives, African natives, he approached an Englishman and said, "You guys think you're very smart. Okay, why don't you answer this question?" Okay, go ahead. So the native asked, "What is that thing that is green in color, hangs from the wall and says chi chi chi?" Englishman thought for a while. Then I give up. What's the answer? The native says, "It's a fish." He turns around and he says, "But it's not green in color." The native says, "Painted green." He says, "But it doesn't hang from the wall." He said, "You hang it from the wall." "But it doesn't say chi chi chi." He said, that part I added to confuse you all. So, I mean, and second time, he came in, I don't know if you've heard of Rubik's Cube. How many have heard of Rubik's Cube? Okay. So our time used to be a craze. Everybody used to be, like nowadays you see people on phone. That time you used to see people with Rubik's Cube, in train, everywhere. So he brought a bag, he took out a Rubik's Cube, he said, this is a problem that everybody's trying to solve. Puts it in, takes out the second cube which is fully solved. I solved it in 1 second. So those are the kind of things he used to start off, and I mean, it really made study very interesting. There's a lesson, when you're talking to employees, when you're working, right? It's work, but it should be joyful. It should be interesting. So post IIT, I graduated. I did some jobs. 5 years I was doing jobs, culminating in my work on Apple computers, Macintosh, and that's when the entrepreneur bug hit me. Now, before I go to what I did as a product entrepreneur, I would like to stress when you want to be a product entrepreneur, when you should be a product entrepreneur. Nowadays you have, thanks to I think Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, people want to drop out of college and start becoming an entrepreneur. I don't think that works. I don't think people graduating and then wanting to become entrepreneur from day one works. It doesn't. You need to get the domain expertise. So you need to do a job sometime. Couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, depends on what you gain and how much you gain. But you need to have domain expertise. You need to develop passion for the domain. You need to find what are the gaps in that domain. And obviously you need to be at the right time in the right place. So in our case, we were on Apple computers. Microsoft Windows was just coming in. So which means, in true sense, personal PC was yet to be established. So I had a deep love for languages. We were doing day in, day out at Ravapantal with our Apple computers doing languages. We developed this for PC and Windows. That was it. So okay, you have an idea. What do you do with it? So you make a product plan. What is a product plan? You need to talk about, you need to think through what money you need, what resources you need, what kind of technological partnership you need, what is your go-to-market strategy. So those are the things that you need to put in the plan and then start working on it. One of the things that worked for us and which I find is still true and very important for a product entrepreneur is find a good co-founder, find a good partner with complementary skill sets. So if you are technical, get one in marketing or vice versa. Now, but that's not all. You also need to find a partner who believes in values which you believe in. Obviously, he needs to have passion for the product. He needs to understand and daily, live the product. But more importantly, the sense of integrity and ethics. Both of you should have same sense of values. Otherwise, it's going to collapse. So I had a great partner. We thought of how to raise money now. We had a plan, we made a product plan. So we applied to 3 companies. They were in Bangalore, Pune, Ahmedabad. We knew how much time it would take in Bangalore, so we booked a train, went to Bangalore, but we didn't know how much time we'd spend there, or Pune, or Ahmedabad, so we couldn't book. This is way back in '92. So we went to Bangalore by train, came to Pune by bus, from Pune to Ahmedabad by bus, from Ahmedabad to Delhi by bus. So the entire loop was by bus. And we didn't raise money, 0 money. So obviously we went to bootstrap. So we went ahead and developed our own product. So we had to work on projects, get money, put it back into the product. So there's some problem here with the slides. Anyway, so it's not coming. But what happened is we developed 4 products. So we went to Chinese market. We developed in pay Chinese. We went to Japanese market. We developed in pay Japanese. We went to Arabic market. So the important point I'm trying to make here is we thought about it as a product, went to a market, didn't succeed. We had to change our path. Went to a second market, didn't succeed. Change our path. Went to third market, still didn't succeed. Maybe a little bit success, but not much. Went to fourth market and succeeded. So what is now called pivot? I mean, now there's a term given to it. That time we didn't know it's called pivot. But the important thing is, what you started with an idea as a product idea, you may not necessarily reach that stage. You may have to change and be ready for the change. This is going to happen. Because by the time you reach there, the market forces change, the market situation change, the market size might change. So we did 4 products, and ultimately 4 kind of variations with different focus on different market geography. Last one succeeded. And this is our photo from exhibition 96-97 in Pragati Maidan. We were awarded by Delhi government in 2007. So that's called the Tajurba product. So InPage is an engine which provides high-end typography for printing on various devices, including paper. These are learnings which I am capturing here from development of that product. I'll take a couple of them. Most of them are kind of self-explanatory. The point I'm trying to make is you should come out with a usable product, not perfect. You will never make a perfect product. Go to the market has to be very quick. And that's why you need to tie up with people. Don't try to do everything yourself. Tie up with somebody, develop the product. Later on you can remove him, build your own thing. But go to the market ASAP. Pivot, what I spoke about. Think big. When I say think big, so I'll tell you a story. We made the product, we never thought we'll get 1 million users. Okay, 1,000 users, 10,000 is good enough. We'll price it at 20,000 rupees, 1,000 users, a lot of money, and so on and so forth. But we had this huge success, and we were not ready for it. We did not protect our product, which meant in first year itself, we had 1 million copies floating around as piracy under piracy. So production. So think big. If you don't think big, if you don't even plan for 1 million copies, no way you're going to protect it, right? That ties in with trademarks, copyright, and patent. I don't know if you're aware. Patent law says you can only patent a process or a product till it is not in public preview. Which means if you have released a product, there is no way you can patent any of the activities of the product or any of the pieces of it. So again, it's an expensive thing, but you have to plan for it. Attention to details, so very important, Hire right. So don't hire people with shopper knowledge. I don't know if you know what shopper knowledge is. So I'll recite an incident. So Max Planck is a well-known physicist. He received Nobel Prize for quantum mechanics. So in 1918, he received that award. And obviously, being a Nobel laureate, he was called for speaking at various locations in Germany. So his chauffeur used to drive him around and used to hear this speech day in, day out. One fine day, they were going to Munich, and the chauffeur said, "Sir, aren't you bored of speaking the same thing again and again?" He said, "Yeah, I'm kind of tired." He said, "Let's add some variety. Why don't I speak? Because I know almost the same thing as you. Because I'll speak and you can don my chauffeur hat and sit in the front seat." He agreed. This guy gave a speech, standing ovation. Unfortunately, one of the guys stood up and asked a question. The chauffeur said, "In this great city of Munich, I don't even think that people ask such a simple question. Even my chauffeur can answer that question." So, beware of hiring people with chauffeur knowledge. Right? How do you know? You will know. I mean, as I experienced it, person who knows things will say, "I don't know," when it doesn't know. Person with chauffeur knowledge will never say, "I don't know." He'll try to explain everything. You ask him about nuclear science, he'll tell you what nuclear science is, even though you will not know ABC. And the last is very important.
In Delhi, we said no problem.
I'm sorry?
Delhi, we said no problem.
Yeah. Get a buy-in from your family. Because that's the key. If you don't get a buy-in from the family, it's not going to happen. So again, I'll describe an incident. We were doing this product, earning money, putting into the product, earning money, putting into the product. One fine day, we wanted to, we didn't have milk for our daughter. And in DDA colony, we were staying in Vasanto. In DDA colonies, you have these dhobis, behind every block of flats. So his name was Raju, I still remember his name. So we had to borrow 10 rupees from him to get milk so that we could feed our daughter. So, if your family is not willing to do that, hard luck. There, I have my wife joining me, Dr. Vijay Gupta. Please give her a big hand. She was always. This is the second product we made. It's a jewelry software. And here, it's kind of a ERP. I have summarized the learning. The important thing, obviously, is positioning of a product is always important. But more important here is never undersell your product. This is what I learned. Never downgrade your product. You will always have problem with cash flows in a product company. But if you downgrade or undersell your product, you're doomed. Again, legal documentation. So we were trying to sell to Neiman Marcus. Neiman Marcus is a high-end retail chain in US. 40 retail chains. And this is 2004. They called us for presentation, gap analysis, and we went through that. And then discovered the company who were representing us were actually portraying this product as theirs. Because our agreement was kind of ambiguous. So we were saying Jewel Mesh and they had another name, Jewel Care. The whole deal broke down. So day one, we had a proper documentation through a lawyer. Probably it would have been a different story. Okay, so from then, 2007, we moved to a service entrepreneur, founded this company, Think Future Technologies, where I'm still the CEO and founder. And these are some of the learnings. The important thing here is number two and the last one. So obviously this is between employees and customers. So in service company you have customers and then your employees servicing the customers. You need to have people with ownership mentality. The problem is how do you get those people? And what I found, like with partnership, you hire a partner, you partner with somebody who has same beliefs as you, who believe in what you believe. Same way you need to do with this. You need to find employees, not necessarily technically, but about life, their views on life, their views on ethics, integrity, their views on social. So if you match those, you will get people who will be willing to spend that extra time, go that extra mile to provide service that wows your customer, which is what you're trying to do in the service industry. Finally, I'm right now also an investor, and there I think the important thing is anything you do, any product, any idea you have, ensure it has revenues, it generates revenues before you go to the investor. Don't go on the premise that I'm going to sell it to Google and that's how it's going to make money. No. If you have something which generates revenues, you will automatically get investors. They'll come to you. The money will come to you rather than you going to them. That's all, ladies and gentlemen. As I started moving, at any point of time in life, when you look back, it's a flashback, it's like a movie. Make sure it's worth watching. Thank you very much.